Alright, welcome to the Alice Cooper album reviews. We are still in 1971. This, of course, is Alice Cooper Killer. Now, the notion of a band debuting or, putting out two albums in the same year is pretty unheard of by today's standards. Usually an album seems to take, 3 years, something like that, but they managed to do two in the same year. I kind of sort of apologize for the beat to shit copy, but 50 years, what are you going to do, right? And the backside is the band, and I like the snake up there too. And you got Alice with the makeup still, of course. Now, something I kind of failed to mention a couple of times with album covers is that really you got two check boxes. One is the album cover awesome, and does it portray the record itself? And this checks the boxes on both, as the same with Love It to Death. This is screaming to buy me. Unfortunately, I don't have the what was it, a poster or a calendar of like Alice getting hung. Unfortunately, I don't have that. It's just the sleeve. Again, what are you gonna do, right? But 8 songs on this album. I'm not going to bullshit and say that song 1 through song 8 are all terrific. I think side B is a little hit and miss. That's not to say that, the songs are bad or anything. I just, is it really that far off to say side A is better than side B? I don't know. But for track 1 for this album, Under My Wheels. So you want to talk about just an amazing introduction into an album, and we're going to see this through a couple years, throughout the 70s and whatnot. But so with Killer, it's Under My Wheels. Next year with School's Out is title track School's Out, and Billion Dollar Babies, Hello Hooray, Muscle of Love. Whatever the fuck happened there, right? But Under My Wheels, it's just loud, fast-paced guitars. It is an intro that you know instantly just by the hammering of the guitars, and then the drums like boom, and then Alice sings, telephone is ringing, and he continues with this raspy voice of his that it sounds to get better and better really as time goes on, right? Even his last album, he sounds pretty damn good for his age, right? But I love the rhythm and fluctuation of this song. He's got his highs and lows and whatnot, and it's it's kind of interesting, right? The story of this song, at least when you listen to it, it's like you're picking up a girl, but at the same time you're gonna run her over, right? It's kind of like, oh, you guys are a couple, but then you hit and run with her. I don't really know what's kind of going on, but hey, point is that the song's fun, right? Um, and then there's even parts towards the songs where he gets really fast in some of the lines. He's like, got you under my wheels. And then even towards the end, with the wheels part, he kind of sounds like a pig. He's like wheels, wheels, wheels. But the song itself, it's just full of energy, just full of rage and whatnot. That truly makes it a great song. And also something I noted towards the end, I don't know who does it, but I hear trumpets at the end, so that was pretty cool to hear. But Under My Wheels, of course, it is a regular part of the set list. And I always think it's kind of cool when he's singing. He's either sitting or, well, early 80s, he's on the trash can, right? But even now, he's doing the little gear shifts while he's driving. He's like, I'm in my car now, anticipating fun. But any case, Under My Wheels, it's a great song and it's a great introduction. All right, Be My Lover. This song, it's kind of got this classic rock sound. It's definitely not the high energy octane of the first song Under My Wheels, but that's okay, right? But the song itself is pretty simple. It's kind of like meeting a lady and then having drinks, and then at the end of the day, it's like, oh, you can take me home, and she comes to a conclusion through the talks. It's like, oh, it's Alice Cooper. Why is the band named Alice? And then Alice is like, oh, you really wouldn't understand. Now, the name Alice Cooper, you can take the two stories that are given. One is the fun way, one is probably the more plausible, realistic way. The fun way is that they did some Ouija board and they found out, like, oh, Alice, you're a reincarnation of some 16th century, witch that got burnt at the stake. But then the more realistic is just, we just threw a name out there that, that juxtaposition of Alice and Cooper. You think some Goldilocks hair girl, then you see this guy. But whatever the case is, that kind of ties into that part of the song, right? Um, and there's some nice guitar playing in there. Again, it's nothing crazy, but that's because it complements the sound of this song. It's really just kind of laid back, mostly just talking discussion like, but just kind of like presenting it out in the song based, right? And I really do love the ending when Alice is like screaming, I'm still on my own, and then the drums and guitars bang in towards the end. So it's a really nice song. I think he still does this on tour and whatnot. That's for sure. But yeah, Be My Lover. I really do enjoy that one. All right, the big one, right? Halo Flies. God damn, this is probably my favorite song of Alice Cooper. But I'm going to tell you the truth. The more I listen to Constrictor, the more He's Back, the man behind the mask, really creeps up in there. But Halo Flies, just the intro, just this magnificent bass and guitar intro. It's got this eerie horror gothic feel to it, and just the drums in the intro. I wrote this down. It sounds like horse hooves, like marching through and whatnot. Just really awesome. And the vocals and slash lyrics are kind of broken into two different tones. So I kind of like the first part is that Christmas song, These Are a Few of My Favorite Things. It's really sung that way because he's singing about, I got the questions to all of your answers. And then he talks about like luxury and like Monte Carlo. He's got cobras. So it really is that few of my favorite things feel like literally even to the rhythmic repetition pitch to it and whatnot. But then, so then the guitars and drums end that part, and then it gets a little quiet, and then he introduces into like this low tone where he meets an Asian lady, and then he's like, I still did destroy her, and I'll smash the halo of, and then he just screams, flies, and then just all hell breaks loose. Just guitars and drums are smashing after he says flies. And then like the next lines are, I crossed the ocean, and then I put a time bomb in your submarine. It's this very hard rock, like punk, maybe even early middle, but definitely hard rock sound. And the solo of the instruments is absolutely tremendous. Just everything is magic. Just the quality, unique chord playing, something that really you've never heard before. And it paints this dark, haunted atmosphere. And haunted not in terms of like a spooky ghost thing, but as in like a psychological thriller, which is really what this album kind of is. You kind of get this picture of a psychological thriller as you move through this album based on various songs. But Halo of Flies, just absolutely, well, as I should say, killer. And again, another one that he does on a regular set, and he still does it great. Of course, I'm not expecting him to scream flies like he was 25, but he does an amazing job still. And Halo Flies is absolutely bloody fantastic, right? Here's the rough part. Alright, the next song, Desperado. And of course, I'm not breaking any, new ground by saying, oh, geez, this sounds like John Morrison. It definitely has that John Morrison influence from The Doors, and of course, he was friends with him, because if you watch any fucking interview, he's like, oh yeah, my big brothers and sisters, Jimi Hendrix, John Morrison, Janis Joplin, and hey, did you know they all died at age 27? Yeah, we get it, Alice. Why don't you tell us the chicken story, right? But that aside, the story I get from Desperado, of course, it's the lyrics, but it's also the atmosphere. It's really this outlaw protagonist. I picture a writer just by himself, kind of like a pale rider feel, just riding out in the Arizona desert. His voice is very low and moody, and then he picks up on various stanzas. And got the great low feeling guitars, and some of these lines, holy shit, I'm a killer, I'm a clown. And then I love the, just his energy and his true, you can really feel the emotion in some of these lines, like "Tell me where the hell I'm going," and this line, this is going to stick with me forever. "You're as dead as a desert night." That is perfection. But really, just this song, like I said, the atmosphere, it's kind of like an out of options uncertainty, tell me where the hell I'm going, stuff like that. But Desperado is an absolutely amazing song. I love it. So that was the end of side A. Side B is You Drive Me Nervous. Now, when I said in the beginning, which I'm sure is going to get people pissed off, that I said side B, it's kind of hit and miss. It's definitely not as great as side A. So You Drive Me Nervous, and then the next song, Yeah Yeah Yeah. I'm not saying that they're bad songs by any means. They're pretty great songs. I just think, the two songs that come after, I think are definitely better. I think pretty much every song on side A was better than that. But hey, that's okay, right? Every record you're going to have a song that's kind of about, but that's just me. Again, I'm not saying those songs are bad anyways. All right. So You Drive Me Nervous. You got this great grinding of a guitar, just the chords and whatnot, and it's kind of interesting. At times of this song, I get a Cold Ethel feel from Welcome to My Nightmare. If you go back and listen to it, you can definitely hear that rhythm and whatnot. At least I do. And I love the shouting that he does of nervous. It's like, you drive me nervous, nervous, nervous. And then, so really this protagonist, I kind of get this teenage rebellion feel because there's a part where the character's in jail and the parents are like, honey, where have you been? Even sounds like that literally. So it's kind of like getting in the wrong crowds and kind of wanting to step away from the family, and you don't understand me. So I really do get that tension, kind of like a angsty teen with their parents and whatnot. At least I do. I'm probably totally off on this song's meaning, but You Drive Me Nervous. Like I said, it's a pretty good song. I just don't really think there's a whole lot to it per se, but again, that's okay, right? The next song is Yeah Yeah Yeah. This one has this. Okay, when I listen to it, I think it's like a prostitution song. I could be wrong, but just hearing the lyrics, it does sound like that. It's this swaying romance feel, and then he's like talks of a lady, he's like picking off the street, and he's like, we can do all these things, whatever you want. You can be the devil, you can be the savior, right? The guitar playing, that's true. That line right there, you could be the devil, you can be the savior. The guitar playing says the lines as well. So I thought that was pretty cool. I know that's nothing new, right? But still, nice guitars and drums. It's nothing crazy for the most part. I think the end is when shit really kind of picks up. And the harmonics, it can never get enough of the harmonica. I absolutely love it. I think harmonicas just bring a pleasant, unique taste to a song, right? And the solo at the end, like I said, I really enjoy. But yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like I said, it's not earth breaking, breaking ground and anything. I still like the song. It's just not my favorite off the album. Okay, but hey, that's okay, right? All right, the next song. Okay, so this is when shit kind of rises up the peak again. Dead Babies. Now this song, is going to seem kind of weird at first, but it reminds me a lot of this. Now, if you're saying, Sean, what the fuck are you talking about? Well, the song Born in the USA is the king of misunderstood songs. You see every kind of fat bastard on 4th of July, manning the grill, and he's blaring Born in the USA. But if you actually listen to the song and the lyrics, it paints a whole other picture. And the reason why I'm saying that is because Dead Babies kind of sort of got shit at the time. Like, oh, Alice, he wants to kill your children. He's got them, hanging upside down, got this devil dog face. He's going to stab them and whatnot. But if you actually listen to the song, it's about child neglection. I don't understand what it is with people that just cannot pick up lines in songs or just the attitude or whatnot and realize, oh, hey, something? He's not saying kill babies. The story is pretty clear, like, oh yeah, child neglection. Same with this. If you actually listen to this, it's like, oh yeah, it's the hardships, Vietnam, America, we got your back. Not really, sort of, story and whatnot. But for Dead Babies, sorry, we go back to this very eerie atmosphere. Eerie bass lines, and then in the intro, and it picks up with the guitar as well. And we're, like I said, we're back to this macabre atmosphere, and a little bit of John Morrison vibes in the vocals, but it is very low, bleak feel. And then at times, it really does get quite aggressive, based off of the various lines and stuff. Sorry about that. All of a sudden, I'm just losing light. We got storm clouds over here, but what was I saying? Alright, so the vocals, like I said, very low, bleak feel that I said at times it turns into aggression. So really, it's like the baby dies and like the parents really weren't there. And you could hear the baby cry. I'm sure that's a Bob Ezrin thing, right? With the added baby scream of a whale and whatnot. And then he just screams into, dead babies can't take things off the shelf. Just totally just hammers in the message and whatnot. And he's like, we didn't want you anyway. So he goes back into this moody voice. He's like, dad's in Texas, mom's at the bars, and baby Betty's sleeping in the grave, right? And then through various lines and stuff, he's just screaming, "Goodbye, little Betty." It just like I said, hammers. Just totally powerful song. Just everything about it, just this bleak atmosphere. If you're going to talk about something like this, make it stick, and it definitely does, right? And towards the end, with courtroom and people were screaming, and the judge is calling for order. So obviously, maybe the parents, got in trouble, right? They found out about the child neglection and whatnot. But in any case, Dead Babies, it is on every bloody set list for Alice Cooper, and that's fine. It is a absolutely fantastic song, one that hammers a pretty strong message, right? Alright, the last song, Killer. This is, I'll say more towards the end, but this is a slow blues Doors bass intro, if that makes sense at all, for this song. Again, the Morrison vibes are back. You got these great guitar rhythms, and I picture a person in some dark alley or like some dark warehouse, kind of like confessing what happened, like what type of murder he did. And then there's some great raises in the voices, like, nothing's easy, and they came after me, stuff like that. There is one, oh, there we go, the light's back. There is one part in this song where the instruments sound a lot like what you hear from Halo of Flies, which is awesome. And you got these great, high and slow, just chords and whatnot. And it then gets, like, so for that part, it is kind of like Halo Flies, where it's kind of broken up into two parts. So after he's talking and whatnot, you get these really sort of hammering intros of guitars. And then all of a sudden, you hear a woman screaming. And every hammer of a chord, the woman gets louder, like he's stabbing somebody. So, boom, boom. And the reason why I kind of chuckled at this song in the beginning is because you can only really play this per se at the halfway point, because once the screaming starts, you gotta sort of lower the volume, because you're probably gonna get the cops called on you, because she just starts wailing, just like, I am being murdered. And then, Alice talks very evilly as that's happening. And then there's this terrific, piano playing, very dark atmosphere. And I remember this from the Super Duper Alice Cooper documentary with the intro with a Nosferatu, and then, of course, with Alice Cooper, the Jekyll and Hyde, because they play that part on the piano, and then I know they do it, I believe they do it when he gets his head cut off by the guillotine and whatnot, but just terrific piano, and then there's like that drum rattling noise that complements it. And then all of a sudden, I believe there's a couple more lines or something, maybe not, but then the gunshots go off, and then there's just this insane storm of flies that you gotta run back to your, player, and he'll lower the volume because, holy shit, that's loud. But that ends it, a swarm of flies, the halo of flies, if you will, that ends, a pretty awesome song by Killer. Killer is like, kind of like, it's like 20% vocals, 80% bleak atmosphere, and that's fine. That's kind of what you want, right? But Alice Cooper's Killer, it is killer in my opinion. All right, so hopefully next week I'll be able to get Schools Out. Schools Out's kind of interesting. I'll talk about that more. But I hope you guys really did enjoy this video. Let me know what you think of this album. I'm sure 99.99% of people really do love this song. But in any case, stay tuned for Schools Out, and I'll see y'all next time. All right, take care.